Watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushai, double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Mashiach Malak Yahushai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their body as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying. They're fasting. They're studying. They're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sisters out there, holding it down in the households, reverencing the husbands, being submissive and diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremother. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, and peace and blessings to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. The topic of this cold cut, and again, shalom to everybody tuning in live. HBK Int, Sweet Styles, Gedaliah, Shalom King, Love Pious, D-Bash Branch, Solomon McFadden, Yashab Rael, T. Sellers, ISY, Divinely Fashion, Brother Believe, Josiah T, and again, everybody else tuning in and that will tune in. The topic of this cold cut is examine yourself. Right, it's straight to the point. Examine yourself, whether ye be in the faith. Right, examine yourself, whether ye be in the faith, and that's the fundamentals of this truth. Part of the fundamentals is looking internally and seeing if you are where you should be when it comes to serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Right? It's part of looking at your works, looking at your faith, looking at where you stand, and asking yourself, can you do better? Right? You have to examine yourself, because a lot of brothers and sisters may get complacent with their works. You may get complacent with how you move in the truth and the spirit that you may be in. Right? You may get that spirit of complacency, that spirit of being lax, and that spirit of pride may hop on you when you think that you're doing things the right way, man. What the Most High said, walk not after the ways of thy own heart, right? Paraphrasing, right? And be not confident in the plain way. If you don't examine yourself, you're never going to really increase and grow. Neither are you going to see where the improvement needs to be made at, right? Everybody's required to examine themselves pursuing the 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and 5. Right? Brothers are to examine themselves, for one, how they're performing according to the law, statutes, statutes and commandments. How you're dealing with your household. Right? Brothers are married. They have children. Sisters should be examining themselves, but how they deal with their husbands, how they deal with their children. Right? Brothers should be examining themselves, how they teach, their labor, their work ethic. Everybody's expected to examine themselves. It says, whether ye be in the faith. Right? So you have to really see, are you really in this truth, man? Right? Are you really in this truth, or are you in this thing just letting time go by, man? Right? Or are you in this thing because you want to improve? You want to become a better brother. You want to become a better husband. You want to become a better servant to the Most High. Right? And the only way to really see is by examining yourself. Corporations do that all the time. Corporations, and I'm talking about top corporations, they do all types of assessments, right? Where they examine the company. They'll send they do audits. There's all types of examination things that happens, man. They'll run an audit on all of your merchandise. They'll send they'll have excellence or operations. They'll walk and they'll assess and see how the company's performing, and they'll examine that company, man. Right? They'll look at their revenue. They'll look at shrinkage, and they'll look at all types of stuff, man. Unemployment rate, satisfaction, customer satisfaction. I'm just throwing terms out there, but they look at these things, man. Right? They look at the fiscal year and look at the gross profit, and they measure up to last year's gross profit, and they have people that actually examine why things are what they are, man. man. And it's the purpose of that examination and those assessments is to see where you're lacking at and to see what you're doing well at. That's part of examination too. You may say, hey, look, I examined myself, man. I didn't even know, man. I've been getting a lot better with my prayers. I've been praying more often than I normally do, right? Let me be more consistent on that. Or you may examine yourself and see that there are things that you're not doing too well at, man. Right? Maybe you're a backbiter. And when you're examining yourself, you need to be honest. Right? You need to have integrity. Because nobody, like the Lord said in Sirach 37 chapter, 14 on down, trust thy own soul, for there is no one more faithful to thee than it. Because only you really know what you're dealing with. Because you can tell a brother all day what sins you're struggling with. You can confess your faults. Right? A brother could kind of be a mentor for you. He could be someone that you confide in. And you can tell somebody that. You can tell your woman stuff. You can make a post. But at the end of the day, you're the only one that knows what you really need to improve on, man. You know that secret sin that you have, that hidden forbidden lust, that temptation that easily besets you. You really know what the hell is going on in your life, man, when it comes to serving the Most High. So you're the first line of defense for improvement in this truth, man. You are the first line of defense, and you need to be completely honest about things. Because if you're not honest about where you stand, how are you going to get the help that you need? You can't make a proper assessment if you're not honest, man. Right? So, you want to make sure that you have integrity during your self-examination too. Even in Psalms, one of my favorite precepts about examination, in Psalms chapter 26, 1 on down, David actually prayed for the Most High to examine him, right? He said, judge me, examine me, right? And that's the spirit you want to be in. Because you're the first line of defense for self-examination, but you can only see so much, right? You can only, see what things you need to work on. And pride may blind you. And a lot of times when man examines himself, they really want to hold on to that one sin. So they play that sin off as if it's not a big deal, right? They play it off like they can control it, or they got it under wraps, and, they don't need no help about it. And brothers do that, man. They got this sin they dealing with. I got this. I got it. I'm going to be right. And brother, it's been 3 weeks, man. That's like people that pop their damn shoulder out of socket or their elbow and they don't want to go to the hospital. There's always a few people. Now, we know in this truth you want to seek the Most High first and etc. But I'm speaking of Jake in the world, man. Right, Jake, you damn break your elbow. I'll be all right. I'm all right. I know a remedy. All right, and you try to, put some ice on it, or, you try to, stretch it out. Jake, you want to walk it off all the time. You want to drink, to make it better. You want to take some damn Robitussin. Jake, you always got some secret remedy that you want to do, man. And it's not working. Brother, your elbow is still broke. It's been 3 weeks, brother. Whatever you're doing, it's not working. You examined it, you looked at it, but you need help. You need help. And like I said, this is a business, man. It's a business. We are, like the Lord said in Hebrews chapter 4, about us holding on to our vocation. We have been called. 1 Corinthians chapter 4:1 says we are stewards for the mysteries of the Most High. We are employees for Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai, man. And a lot of times, like I said, you'll have other, at these jobs and these departments and corporations, you have other companies or third-party companies that will come in and assess your employees, man. They'll look at their attendance. They'll do merit reviews, performance reviews. Right? They say, hey, look, according to this guy, he's been here 10 years, he should be making this amount. Right? Or this guy, he's not performing, he's not hitting his numbers the way he's supposed to be hitting his numbers. And they'll look at that stuff, man. Right? Because you as an employee, you don't really know what's going on. But then when you get them other eyes on you, they say, hey, look, you need to work on this, you need to work on that, you need to work on this. Right? So these are things that they do in the world. You want the Most High and the angels to examine you, man. Pray that the Lord examines you. Because you may miss something. You might think that you're only dealing with lust and slothfulness, but the Most High revealed unto you that pride is a big deal. Now you struggle with pride, right? Or there's some secret demon inside of you, man, that's ready to sift you out. So that's always a good thing. You pray to Yahweh Shai that He examines you. That's Psalms chapter 26 and 2 on down. I mean, again, these guys that break their elbow and their arms, that can only go so far when you examine yourself. When you go to that physician, the physician has the right equipment to give you the right help that you need. You got the MRI machine, the X-ray machine. Some of these hospitals have physical rehab on site, and they'll take you and you can do your physical rehab. Right? They'll give you pretty much what they call how long it takes for you to be healed, man. Your healing time, or whatever they call it. They'll say, look, you'll be out of work for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, right? Come see me before you go back to work, or come see me before you take this cast off. And they give you the right remedy. They're trained professionals, veterans, in their craft, man. Right? So you want to have that same mentality, because again, you can only see so far into yourself before pride blinds you and a lack of integrity. Or you may just really miss some things, man, because you're walking after the ways of your own heart. And as we approach the end of the world, which we are living in these last days of Yahweh Shah returning, you got wars going on in the earth. You got destruction happening. You got nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom. You got famines brewing up. I mean, you got Iran. They said they got their finger on the trigger, right? They said they got their finger on the trigger. So they're just ready, man. They're ready to press the button. And you don't want to be caught out there. You didn't examine yourself, right? There's a lot that we can all work on. There are things I can work on, things you can work on. There's always room for improvement. And if you think there's no room for improvement, then the Most High may have given you a strong delusion. That's borderline reprobate. To say that, well, I don't need to work on nothing. I'm all right, I'm cool. I'm going to just coast to the kingdom. Every day you can get better, right? I mean, we sin every day, and the Lord said in Ecclesiastes chapter 18 and 27 on down, that a wise man will be aware of his offense when he sins, paraphrasing. So a wise man's going to know when he sins, right? He's going to know when he goes off. And he's going to examine himself. Even if you, I was talking to a brother, I was saying, even if you got to make yourself a checklist, man. At the end of the day, you look at that checklist, that self-examination checklist, say, hey, did I pray, X amount of times today? Right? Why or why not? Hey, did I read my X amount of chapters I said I was going to read? Kana la'ah, or why or why not? Right? Did I teach my wife, or did we pray together? Or, was I blameless today at the so-called workplace? Was I blameless in the brotherhood? Right? Did I fast this week? So you can have even a checklist if you want to make, man. You can have one for the month, one for the week, and one on a daily basis. Right? Maybe every month you want to fast, 3 times or so. You may put yourself a checklist together, man. Maybe every month you want to make sure that you teach at camp, right? Or whatever. You want to give alms to the poor. Then you may have a weekly checklist, right? Did I have everything ready for the Sabbath? And you kind of look at it. And they do that, man. They do that in businesses. They have all types of terms for it, man. Right? They call it a Pareto analysis. Right? And you kind of look at trends and you see where the trends are, man. And if you examine yourself on a day-to-day basis, and every day you're finding out that you're not reading the chapters that you're supposed to read, you need to look at that, man. That's something worth looking at. And well, hold on. For the last 5 days, I set a goal to read 5 chapters. Every day I examine myself, I'm not hitting that goal. Or brother, why aren't you hitting that goal? Because it's one thing to examine yourself and see the shortcoming. It's another thing to examine yourself and see why. Why is that happening? And how can you prevent it? Is it happening because you're putting too much on your plate? Right? Is it happening because you have a lot of idle time and you're giving yourself over to your idle time, and you have to start asking the why. Don't just examine yourself and say, yeah, I found out, I'm not really, where I need to be. The next step is, why aren't you where you need to be? Right? Again, why did your elbow break? Not just, okay, my elbow broke. Why did it break? How can we stop it from breaking the next time? Oh, well, it broke because I was climbing the ladder, and I fell off the ladder. Right? Well, how do you stop it from happening again? Okay, well, you use the, you have somebody hold the ladder. Right? Do it in the daytime. Don't do it at the nighttime. I mean, whatever it takes. You got to kind of have that kind of mindset, a mind of wisdom. That's called being prudent. The Lord said in Proverbs 22:3, a wise man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. So you definitely want to apply a high level of prudence through the spirit and power of Yahweh. You want to apply prudence, because if you don't have no prudence, over again, and you're going to be examining yourself in vain, because you're going to be doing the same damn thing, man. Right? And brother's going to put good precepts. Right? Before judgment, examine thyself, and then the day of visitation, thou shalt find mercy. Right? That's a good precept right there. Right? What's the day of visitation? Where the Most High get up with you. That's not when the Most High knock on your door. Right? That's not when the Lord kind of visits you with candy canes and flowers. The day of visitation is a day of judgment. Right? A day of recompense. And you want to have mercy, because when that day comes, if you examine yourself, you did what it took to prevent that judgment from happening. Right? You did what it took to prevent that judgment from happening. So that's the spirit brothers want to be in. Brothers want to have that self-examination. Right? I'm working on my self-spirit. That spirit where you actually look on a day-to-day basis and see where you can improve on, or where you can improve at. Salakia. Right? See where you can improve at through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashima Mashiach Malak Yabushai. Right? And if you don't examine yourself, you can't expect a brother, Salakia, bear with me. Right? On my way to camp. Yeah, you can't you can't expect a brother to tell you your shortcomings all the time. I mean, a brother, he don't live with you, man. A brother don't sleep with you. A brother don't go to the workplace with you. A brother not around you with you and your woman all the time. A lot of brothers just wait for another brother to tell them where they going off at. How come you ain't tell me I was going off? And that brother ain't always going to be around, man. Right? After the end of the day, the Lord said in Philippians chapter 2:12, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So you got to look, and you got to want this for yourself, man. You can't just wait on another man to just tell you every time you're going off. Right? You got to have that preventative mindset. Right? How can I prevent myself from going off again, man? Maybe I'm not applying myself hard enough. Maybe I'm not pushing myself. Maybe I'm not denying myself enough. Right? You got to really look within and see what's causing you to go off. That's another part of examination. That's the second level of examination. Again, not just the fact that you're finding out where you're going off, but why are you going off, and what can you do to stop yourself from going off the next time? Maybe you need to ramp up your prayers. Right? Maybe that's something you need to work on. Maybe fasting once a day, is not enough. Maybe you're the type of brother where you need to fast twice a week. Right? Maybe you're the type of brother that need to fast, 3 times a week, huh? Until that demon get off of you. Maybe you need to get counsel, right? About something that you're dealing with. Maybe you examine yourself and say, hey, look, I need some help. I'm struggling with this particular transgression. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to get the right help that I need from the right individual, huh? All of this goes into examining yourself to see if you're really in the faith. And if you're really in the faith, you're going to do each step of self-examination to make sure that you are without spot and without blemish on the day of the Lord, man. So with that, I'm going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach, Malak Yahushai. Most High willing you was edified. Kwam Yasha.